What is up, guys? Welcome to Loveshack Entertainment, and today we're going to be bringing you a deck profile video. So as I mentioned before, we just got a couple more videos this week before we take about a week and a half without posting any. So what we wanted to do, kind of go out with a bang, is do a couple of deck profiles of like current meta decks. Basically, we're going to be getting ready for YCS Providence, which is in a couple of weeks. So basically, you're going to see the decks that we're going to be playing at the event. So that's starting off with Kozmo, which is quite different from the last time we did a deck profile video of it. So I won't waste a lot of time talking, obviously. I'll try to just do it relatively quickly. But if you guys do enjoy the video, please feel free to give it a comment, like, subscribe. And you can check back tomorrow for another deck profile video, and then the day after as well. So that'll wrap it up with 3 back-to-back deck profile videos. And so yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So for the monsters, we have triple Kozmo Dark Destroyer, pretty academic. Obviously, I will mention the power card of the deck, and it really makes some incredible plays. Double Forerunner. So this is one that I understand some people play 2, some people play 1. I really do like it at 2. It's still an optimal card, and it still allows you to float into things, so it's really good for that. 2 Tin Can, so you can go 2 or 3. Tin Can is an amazing card that really allows you to search to the deck's fullest potential. I'm just going to put this up here. And obviously, it's just a fantastic card. You want to see it as soon as possible. The thing is, at 3, it kind of clogs because later in the game, you really don't want to see him much. So 2 is okay, but I guess some people do play 3. I think it's a little overkill. Double Max C, PK Fire is still the best deck. This card's absolutely amazing against that, but it's also good against the YCS Monarchs and other things, so it's just obviously really useful. 2 Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. So the interesting thing about this card is that this deck can actually main it. Some do, some don't. I do side it out generally if you're not playing against PK Fire, or a deck where you want to hit. The extra deck, we do have like a few things you can hit, Scarlight, whatever, but for the most part, Cherries is really just a PK Fire card, but because you're going to see it so much, I think it's worth the main in this deck. So yeah, 2 of those. 2 Kozmo Sword Troopers. I'll show you the side in a minute, but I generally will side out those for Ghost Ogres anyway. Sword Trooper is amazing. It brings back Dark Lady, it brings back Tin Can, Farm Girl, whatever. So the plays are really strong with that. 1 Slip Rider. We're in a meta that's a lot less pendulum heavy, so it's not necessary more than that. You could play more than 1 if you were electing to go the Infinity build. I just don't personally care to do that. 1 Wicked Witch, really good. I've actually considered bumping her to 2. I've been a little bit back and forth on it. 1 Strawman, really good. Destroyer into Strawman, bring it back. The combos are definitely there. 1 Landwalker, this is one of the newer ones. I do like it a lot. I think it's a cool card. It's obviously just kind of fits that 6 role better than Dogfighter did. 1 Good Witch and 1 Dark Eclipser, so those are pretty much just the one-ofs. Dark Eclipser's still good, you can float into it. I'm not playing Dark Planet in the build. I just think Dark Planet might be better in its own build, sort of oriented to, based around it rather than just whatever. So that's why it's not in here, but Dark Eclipser's still really good. 2 Dark Lady, this card is amazing. It's really done an absolute crazy amount of things for the deck in terms of, being able to get over effect monsters and pretty much do so at a relatively effortless cost. You're paying 1,000, but the card's just so easy to put on board. And then 2 Farm Girl, finally cut that down because you don't really need it at 3 anymore. Tin Can searches, and it will kind of clog if you play it at any more than 2, in my opinion. So that's the main deck, the monster lineup there. We may change it a little bit before the event, but that's just kind of like a rough outline. 2 Allure of Darkness, so this card's amazing in here. Obviously, you can, banish Dark Destroyer, summon it back with Strawman. The plays are just too strong. 2 Kozmo Town, 1 Terraforming. So this is, I've stayed pretty consistent with this. We did this in the last version of the Kozmo that we did as well, which was, almost a couple months ago now. I just don't like the 3rd Kozmo Town. Like, as good as it is to see it, a lot of times people aren't going to MST this. They're not going to want to hit it unless they can hit it and ensure that you're not going to be able to resolve the effect. So, I don't really need to play 3, and when you do play the Terraforming, it sort of speeds up your ability to come into the card you're looking for, which is why I like it. 2 Eat Selly, obviously standard, would play 3, but it got hit by the list. 1 Twin Twister. Some people play this at multiples. I don't always want to discard stuff, but it is really useful sometimes to get stuff engraved, so I kind of compromised on going 1 Regeki, 1 MST. So this is what I'm playing in place, 1 Twin Twister, 1 MST. Honestly, the ability to hit stuff like Floodgates pretty quick in response to your opponent playing them is neat, and you don't have to worry about discarding a card. So Twin Twister is not the top deck you want to see when you're trying to make a late game comeback, and that's why I'm a little bit hesitant against playing it at more than 1 in this deck, where you do kind of value what's in your hand. Triple Call the Haunted. This is standard. Every Kozmo deck's pretty much playing that at 3. Triple Cosmojo, that's a 3 of now as well. And the card's phenomenal. It really just counters everything. And 1 Solemn Warning. I don't have Solemn Strikes, or I don't have spare Solemn Strikes for this particular build. You can obviously play Solemn Strikes, and there's plenty of things you can cut to put strikes in. So if you want to play Strike, you can. I don't have enough to go around with that deck. So let's go to side deck real quick. 1 Vanity's Emptiness, still a really good power card. 2 Anti-Spell Fragrance. I don't think we're going to see much Draco Pals or anything else anymore, but you never know, and this is one of those things that, at least can slow Monarchs down a bit too. It was, far more powerful when, before the hit to the adjusted list. 1 Macrocosmos, obviously fucks PK Fire, and you can definitely still utilize it. 2 Ghost Ogre, this is almost like one of those cards that's like almost always going to get sided in place of Reaper once you side Reaper out, unless you're playing PK Fire, in which case you'll keep Reaper. Ogre's still fantastic. 1 Cyber Dragon for Chimera Tech. System down is decent, but I just don't know that I love what it's going to do to me in terms of vanishing my own machines. 2 Effect Veiler, again, kind of standard. Decree's really good. People like to play Chain Burn and Rogue decks like that, and it's nice to have Decree as an out to that. Not to mention, it just does fuel your ability to OTK and make sure you're not going to get fucked over by traps. Time Space is a good card in the Mirror Match, which is just a terribly unfun game to play. And then 2 Mask of Restrict for Monarchs, and the occasional Kaiju, I guess, because they do seem to pop up every now and then. It's the extra deck. 1 F-Zero. This is in here for... I don't touch the extra deck much, so the space isn't hugely important. F-Zero's in here for Ghost Reaper. So F-Zero is really PK Fire's best asset against Kozmo, and the ability to hit this with the second Ghost Reaper that you may draw into is really good. Phantom Knight's Break Sword is in here because you do have a lot of 3s and the ability to make 3s with Sword Trooper, but also, again, it's another option for Reaper. Dante's in here, obviously, because PK Fire, but again, it is a card you can make, even though I wouldn't do that often. Castel, Dweller, Cowboy for 4s. You don't go into 4s much, if ever, but at least they're there if you need them. Red Eye Splayer and Big Eye for 7s. I've actually gone Big Eye sometimes, just to get over stuff that I can't necessarily get over with Forerunner. For the 1/8, it'd be Titanic Galaxy. It's not often you want to overlay your Destroyers anyway, though. Unless you absolutely have to. For 5s, Armades and Chambara. You do like Ghost Reaper and Strawman or something, and Veiler if you side Veilers in. The extra deck is sort of thrown together because you just don't really go into it much. 1 Goyo, again, just whatever, best 6 there. 1 Black Rose, that's one you could see a little bit more commonly, and it's still useful. Scarlight, this card's amazing. I've said this before. I think it's one of the best cards in the game. Scarlight, you go a 5 plus Ghost Ogre. Or a 7 plus Veiler or whatever. The card's just too good not to play. And then 1 Trish, which you can make, but you don't make commonly, but at least it's there if you need it. So yeah, that's pretty much this deck profile video. I really do like the deck, and I think, it's got some cool stuff with Shining Victories. So hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave them down below, but I'll see you next time right here at Loveshack Entertainment. Bye-bye.